The food, man, I'm a food lover, I'm a foodie. The food in Zimbabwe, I just feel like they are way too nice. I feel like they are way too organic. I feel like, the rent in Zimbabwe is expensive. When we had to change now the rent to $1 to, it was like, yay, that's way too much. The people, man, it's like the people in Zimbabwe, they literally give you the full experience of Zimbabwe. So yes, you should come and check this beautiful country, my dear. Oh, another thing, actually, that should have been number one, the CTINs in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Oh, Zimbabwean CTINs, they're a lot and they are very difficult. I think for the longest time, the thing that I struggled with was the CTIN in Zimbabwe. Literally just the CTIN, because when you meet someone for the first time, you say Magadi, right?
Yeah.
You say Magadi, then you have to wait a little bit when you sit. So now that's where I'll be confused. Like, okay, how long do I have to wait before I can Magadi,
Yeah.
So now that was like a shock. Like I struggled so much, and there's another time where there were people at the farm where they're visiting, and then we created, right? And then now they came to tell me that I actually have to kneel.
Go again and
I'm like, kneel? Like, I thought that was like a thing from a long time ago, but then I realized that no, but it's actually like a culture. So I think the greeting confused me so much. There is a good morning, Mamukase. There is a good afternoon, right? Is Maswera say, right? There is at night again, Maneru. So 3 greetings all in beside the official one, that when you
Makadi.
you hear how lot they are. So now in our culture, Kitumelang. It's the first time meeting someone
every day.
Yes. And then if there's good morning ki litwile jwang again. But
but it's the same.
But there's Zimbabwe, I feel like there are a lot. Especially the Makadi one, because now it's confusing for me. Actually, it's actually confusing that you have to say Makadi, then you wait a little bit. I don't know now what time period. Do I count?
No, I think when you meet someone, it's hello. Okay. And then let them relax. And then say, how are you?
Yeah, I think that one kind of like, that was like,
it's like Tumela. Oh, Tumela. I don't know your accent. Let them sit. And then say Likai.
So what's the purpose of letting them sit?
To relax, make them feel at home.
Then because now when you rush them again.
Yeah, because now when you rush them by the door and say, hi, how are you? It's like you want them to live fast. I mean, that's the culture.
I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that's another thing. And the washing of hands, I think that one is not really a shock. It's actually something that I admire and I love so much, because it also shows how united you guys are. Or it shows Ubuntu type of situation.
What do you mean washing hands?
Like someone taking water for you and actually washing your hands.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't even do that for you when you came. How rude of me. How rude of me. I love that. I love that. Like where someone, they are dishing up for you, they put warm water for you, you wash hands, like they literally wash your hands. I mean, it's nice. We washed each other's hands. They call it what? Washana's something like that. But I think it's beautiful. I really think it's beautiful because it just shows respect for me. Yes. Yes. It really shows
oneness.
Exactly.
And you guys know what they say: Ubuntu, Ubuntu, Abantu. A person is a person because of other people, and that's the spirit of oneness in Africa. No man is an island. We live, together, and each person in an African community has something to bring to the table, and we share. That's the beauty of Africa. And if you haven't come to Africa, what are you waiting for?
Hello.
Okay, tell me more. You're telling me something about schools.
Oh yes, the schools, guys. So I don't know, honestly, if you correct me if there are schools that are free here, but where I come from, there are free schools. I went to a free primary school as well. So the fact that there isn't any free school here, it just shocked me. Like, okay, so how do people do it then? Honestly, what if you don't have to pay? Because again, I've realized that a lot of people in Zimbabwe, they're entrepreneurs, so it's not every time the business, so how do you manage That actually that will bring me to the other point that I want to bring, like of rent, right?
Yeah.
But how do you tackle all that, like paying rent, school? Because the schools, I feel like they're quite pricey, especially for a primary school.
Yeah.
They're quite pricey. If it was high school or college or university, I understand. But for primary, honestly, the schools, I feel like they're kind of way too much.
Yeah, I think maybe the government can work on that, but the economy is very complex. I'd like to say, because now when you talk about maybe free education, that money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Because Zimbabwe's economy is not at its best, it's quite improving well.
Yeah,
but like the majority of people are not paying taxes.
Oh, because of they're running their own businesses.
They're running their own businesses, and it's kind of hard to put money together. I mean,
it makes sense.
The government could work on that. But like, yeah, I've also seen that school is expensive, honestly. Some people don't really afford it.
Yeah.
But then
you find people who are actually not taking their kids to school because of that.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Because, okay, people at the rural, how do they do with it?
No, the rural areas now, school's cheap.
But
very
still,
cheap.
You still pay.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like $10.
$10 is quite a lot for some people, honestly. You know, it's quite a lot. Because Lesotho, literally, there's free, when you say free education, there's free schools, you get free books. All you just have to do is to just buy your own uniform.
That's amazing. I think Zimbabwe, they can learn a lot from Lesotho. I like it. I like it because for me, this thing with education, especially a primary education, is something that is very touching to me, because I keep telling people at some point in my life I wasn't poor. I wasn't poor, but you know, things here and there happen. At some point, I went to school with a naked behind because I didn't have enough uniform.
Yeah,
it's not something that is very nice, and it kills a kid's confidence.
Yeah, at a very young age. Imagine those are the best days of your life. Now,
and I have that memory up until now, and it makes me want to cry sometimes. So I guess we can learn from that kids need to have adequate education, because what kind of person am I going to be like tomorrow if I don't have the basics?
Really, that one I think is the most important, honestly, because every child deserves an education, you know. So if now, you have to now question, okay, how do I manage paying rent, and how do I also manage, and now that brings me to my point of rent. The rent in Zimbabwe is expensive. It's quite pricey. Like, I don't know, maybe if it's the places that I've stayed in, but the rent in Zimbabwe is just way too much, especially in town. The housing, the rent is just way too much. So yeah, I think that's another thing that just kind of like shocked me. But then, everywhere the rent is just too much, because even in South Africa, it's quite pricey actually.
Because I'm also looking at the prices that I've been paying in South Africa, and the prices that I'm paying right now, and more like the suburbs are more like the same. It's almost the same. But I just think that with these countries, the housing is just too much.
It's too much.
You can't deny the fact that the housing is too much.
Yeah.
And I also think maybe it goes with competition, because I've seen accommodation in other regions like Kenya. Accommodation is quite cheap because now there are many people building houses, and then the market is saturated with housing. But right here, you build your small house, and then you feel like you're the only one, and then the prices go up. It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
The common person is suffering.
Yeah.
Anyway,
should I still continue?
You want to continue? Yes.
Oh, yes. There's plenty. Another thing I realized is people rent their houses here, and you guys can actually share a house like different people.
Yeah.
So for me, that was new. I guess that was my personal experience, because I've never had to. So the fact that I actually the fact that you can literally be in a big house and then you guys are sharing it like five, this is normal, So I learned that also so much, because I realized that, okay, if I'm gonna want to rent my house in Lesotho, then nice, So I think that was a shock, but also I learned so much from that again, because I realized that, this is a good way of making money.
I think it's also because now the housing is quite expensive, so you realize you can't afford the whole house.
So you decide to just place it. Yeah, I mean, it's a good concept, honestly. Yeah, it is good. What other else again? The currency, the fact that dollar, I had to convert a lot when I arrived here.
And then you see everything.
I had to convert a lot when I came here. God, oh my God, yeah, that was
confusing.
That was so confusing for me. No, even with dollar, because we use a dollar a lot here, right, in Zimbabwe. Not even with Zimbabwean money. I haven't really like used it that much, honestly. But even with just dollar, it can be so confusing because sometimes when we came here, we didn't know that we had to change money, so we actually came with South African rands. So now, well, there are other stores that were okay with us buying with rands, but then when we had to change, it was just a confusing thing for me.
Wait a minute. Like, in Lesotho, you use South African rand?
Yes, and Maluti.
I know Maluti.
Maluti. Yeah, our currency in Lesotho is Maluti.
But it's almost the same value as the rand.
Yes, it is the same value.
One rand is close to one Maluti.
One Maluti, yes.
Oh, so it's easier.
Yeah, it's very easier. Like, you don't get confused. So it's the same currency, literally. So we use South African currency and Lesotho, and it's the same value. Yeah. So it's not confusing. So for us, when we had to change now the rands to dollar to it was like, hey, that's way too much. But yeah, man, overall, I think most of the things that I've mentioned, I've gotten used to them again. Yeah, except the school issue. The school I will never.
You never.
Because the schools are quite pricey here, guys. Like, I cannot. I even refuse to because I feel like, what? There is no way that schools are this expensive.
Thank you so much for sharing this amazing insights of MoSotho living in Zimbabwe. And then lastly, I just want to ask you, what's one thing that you love the most about Zimbabwe, or in general, what do you love about Zimbabwe that you're like, oh, you guys, you should once in a lifetime visit Zimbabwe and experience this kind of experience?
Yeah, the food. The food. The food, man. I'm a food lover. I'm a foodie. But the food in Zimbabwe, I just feel like they are way too nice.
Oh, she just made breakfast, you guys. I have sausages, traditional beans, coleslaw with the red cabbage. It's actually my favorite.
Is it?
Yeah.
The red cabbage.
And then I have scrambled egg, potatoes, actually a lot of food. But I'm very much excited. And lettuce from a garden. I love it. I love it.
I feel like they're way too organic. I feel like, I'll talk the whole day about the food in Zimbabwe. Honestly, I don't know, or maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me, but I know very well that Zimbabwean food, they're very nice. Even traditional Zimbabwean food, they are very nice. They are very, very nice because I've tasted almost all Zimbabwean cuisines and I enjoy them. I love them. So the food in Zimbabwe and the people, man, the people are cool in Zimbabwe, bruh. Like, the people in Zimbabwe, look, she knows, I've told her before. Listen, the people in Zimbabwe, they're amazing. They will welcome you. You understand? You will literally feel like you are home. Guess what? I came here to visit for 2 weeks and then I'm staying for 3 years. So it really shows that I'm in a community that I can feel safe around. I'm around people who literally make me feel like I'm home. Hence, I've been here for this long. So the people, number one, guys, like the people in Zimbabwe, they literally give you the full experience of Zimbabwe. So yes, you should come and check this beautiful country, my dear.
Ladies and gentlemen, you give it up for Lerato Shahane for giving us an amazing insight of my beautiful country, Zimbabwe. When I hear people talking positively about my country, Zimbabwe, I'm proud.
Yeah,
I can never be more proud to be Zimbabwean, and I love it. I'm happy that you're enjoying Zimbabwe. I'm happy that you're loving Zimbabwe. And if there's anyone who's watching, like she's saying, please visit Zimbabwe. You need to experience the food. My favorite Zimbabwean dish is Zanimuru Nedovi. You like it?
Yo,
what's your favorite dish?
It's actually dovi. No, it's peanut butter rice. What do you call it? Yeah, peanut butter rice and goat stew. Oh, baby,
so nice.
that one, it's so nice. My favorite.
There you have it, you guys. Whenever you come to Zimbabwe, make sure you order some peanut butter rice and goat stew, like Lerato said. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give this video a huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. On the road to 20,000 subscribers. And go to Lerato Shahane's channel. I'm going to leave it right here. Let's get her to 5,000 subscribers. And when you go to her YouTube channel, please tell her that Tino Spark sent you here. And a special shout out to Tsepi, who's behind the camera. She's an amazing soul. You get to see her on the channel one day, or you can get to see her on her channel.
And my experiences in Zimbabwe as well.
And the experiences in Zimbabwe as well. See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye.